Test, test, test.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to see you here today. Today is a special service called Hanamatsuri, the commemoration of the Buddha's birth in India 2,500 years ago. You can find information about this service in your program, but he was born in a garden, and so we recreate his birth with this flower pavilion or display. And instead of incense, we have sweet tea that you pour over him to bless the Buddha. So we have a couple of different things today. So the first chant we will have is the words are in your program. It's Kanbutsuge, and then we'll have an introduction by our minister Obaya Kubon, and our sutra chanting is our usual Jusei you'll find on page 23. So as you can see, we do things a little bit more formal today because of this special service. Reverend Cindy will come back up on the, I can't even think of the right word. I'll call it altar for now, and she will give us an introduction, the Ombon Yo, gosh, I am terrible today. Yo Bakumon, and then we would have sutra chanting, Jusege, which you'll find on page 23 of the Purple Service Book.
We are fortunate to be here in this world where birth is difficult. We are even more fortunate to be able to meet the vow of immeasurable life and light that transforms us to become truly human. On this day, celebrating the birth of the baby Buddha, we are reminded of the rarity, nobility, and preciousness of each individual life that is sustained by infinite workings of all others. With humility and gratitude in our hearts, may we rejoice in the birth of Siddhartha Gautama, who had later become the Buddha, the fully awakened one.
Say
Can I ask that everyone please once more put your hands together in Gasho or bow your head in contemplation as we say once again, Namo Amitabutsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha. Namo Amitabutsu, Namo Amitabutsu, Namo Amitabutsu, Namo Nox, Namo Nox, Namo Nox, Namo.
Now we will, try that. There we go. Now we will have offerings by various temples, associations, Adult Buddhist Association. Buddhist Women's Association. Temple Board of Trustees. For those of you who are able, please rise and join in the reading of the three treasures you'll find on page 3 of our purple service book. The three treasures. Fortunate is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Rare is it to encounter the teachings of the Buddha. Now we hear it. If we do not seek the truth of the Dharma in this life, in what life shall we find it? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken within us our highest aspiration. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the Dharma and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in a life of harmony, in the spirit of universal brotherhood, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful teaching. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Vedabats, Namo Vedabats, Namanda, 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 Namanda. Thank you. You may be seated, and we will have a serenade from the Shirakawa Strummers. Now we'll have our Dharma message from Reverend Cindy.
Can I ask that everyone please put your hands together in Gosho or bow your head in contemplation as I read these words from the Larger Sutra. He demonstrated his aptitude in mathematics, the literary arts, archery, and horsemanship. He was proficient in the divine arts and was well versed in traditional literature. He enjoyed practicing the martial arts and testing his ability in the rear gardens, and appeared to exhibit his indulgence in the pleasure of the senses in the palace. Having seen into old age, sickness, and death, he realized the impermanence of the world. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Nats. Namo Nats. Namo. Well, hello everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful week. I think this month is a time for celebration for many faiths across the world. Like a couple of weeks ago was Easter. This past week was the end of Ramadan. I think this coming week is Passover. And then yesterday, well, I don't know if it exactly was yesterday, but the Sikh community also celebrated. And I'm sorry if I pronounced this wrong, but Vaizedig? I might be pronouncing that wrong. I apologize. But there's a lot of faith traditions celebrating this year, around this time. And so for us Buddhists, well, some of us Buddhists, we celebrate the birth of Prince Siddhartha Gautama, the being who will eventually become Shakyamuni Buddha, the Buddha who lived in India 2,500 years ago. I should say then India. And coincidentally, that day happens to be April 8th, in which this year there was a solar eclipse happening in a part of the world. So I don't know if that's auspicious or what, but I'm trying not to look too deep into that this year. So last year, if you would like to look on our YouTube page, I talked about the birth of Prince Siddhartha Gautama. And so today I thought it would be nice to talk about his life as a prince. Right? So in the larger sutra, which I read the portion, sorry, it was a little long, but this part of the sutra is actually at the beginning part of the larger sutra. And the sutras are, of course, the teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha. And this part in particular is basically retelling of Shakyamuni Buddha's story about him, I should say them, being a prince at one point and then discarding the extravagant life they had. And this part of the sutra also situates that every Buddha has had this same exact life. So just a small recap of last year's Dharma talk, won't go too far into it, is that Prince Siddhartha was born in Lumbini's garden, which is an actual place in Nepal, right? Then India. And he was born to Queen Maya and King Suddhodana. And it is said that the baby Buddha, well, I shouldn't say baby Buddha, that young prince, because he wasn't a Buddha yet, he was to be a Buddha possibly, is said to have been birthed from particularly Queen Maya's right armpit, which is a sign of high birth, and immediately walks 7 steps, points to the heaven and to the ground, and says, I alone am the world-honored one. So that's a small recap. Continuing on Prince Siddhartha's story is that, unfortunately, his mother, Queen Maya, passes 7 days after his birth. And so he grows up in a palace without his mother, but his mother figure becomes his aunt. Right? So he has a mother figure in his life. There's also another part of this story in which King Suddhodana invites, right, seers to come to his palace to give, I guess, a reading of Prince Siddhartha's future. And so it is said that there were multiple seers, but Prince Siddhartha was either to be a great king, or would be a great ascetic, right? A great monk, a great mendicant. Right? And of course, being the king that he is, he wants someone to look after the throne. Right? And so he keeps Prince Siddhartha within the palace walls and makes sure that he is surrounded by only the best things. He is only surrounded by the most beautiful men and women. He is surrounded with so many things that he doesn't need anything else. And so, for 29 years of his life, Prince Siddhartha lived within the palace walls, content and happy. It is during this 29th year of life that Prince Siddhartha finally goes outside of these walls. And it is this, the story of the four gates, as we call it. Some people call it a little different, but the story of the four gates that shows Prince Siddhartha the realities and truths of the world. And so the story goes, and this is a very, very small version. I'm going to try to go through this a little fast. But the first day, Prince Siddhartha goes out of the east gate. And east for us is that way, right? East gate. And the directions matter. East gate. And so Prince Siddhartha goes out with his attendant Chandaka. And when they go outside the gate and they're exploring the city, they come upon this person who is bent over. And this is the first time that Prince Siddhartha sees a person like this. And thus Prince Siddhartha asks Chandaka, why is this person bent and has what looks like wrinkles on their skin? And Chandaka replies to the young prince and says, young prince, this is an old person. This is the old person. Everybody gets old. And so for Siddhartha, who has never seen an old person, right? There were only young men and women in the palace. He had never seen an old person before. And so he goes back to the palace that day and thinks deeply on this fact that all people get old. The next day, Prince Siddhartha and Chandaka go out again to do the south gate. South is in that direction. And while they're walking, well, I shouldn't say walking, because while they were exploring the city, Prince Siddhartha sees someone coughing, someone bedridden. And Prince Siddhartha asks Chandaka, what happened to this person? Why are they making those sounds? Right? And Chandaka replies to the young prince and says, young prince, this is a sick person. Everybody in their life gets sick. And again, Prince Siddhartha is very surprised with this, that everybody gets sick. So once he gets home, right, he begins to think about this truth that everyone gets sick. The next day, Prince Siddhartha and Chandaka go out the west gate. And while exploring the city, they come across a bunch of people crying and a person who is lying still. And so Prince Siddhartha, having never seen this image before, asks Chandaka, what happened to this person? Why are there so many people crying? And why is this person lying so still? And Chandaka replies, young prince, this is a person who has passed. This is a dead person. everybody dies. Everybody passes. And so for the third time, Prince Siddhartha goes back to the palace where everything is perfect and contemplates on death, on the fact that he too will die. And so the fourth day, Prince Siddhartha goes out of the north gate, and with Chandaka, and when they go out this north gate, they explore the city, and they find a man sitting peacefully. And Prince Siddhartha, knowing what he has learned over the past few days, is stunned to see this person looking so peaceful. And so Prince Siddhartha asks Chandaka, who is this person? Why are they so peaceful when they know there is old age, sickness, and death? And Chandaka replies, young prince, this is a mendicant. This is a monk. This is an ascetic. He is contemplating about the sufferings you have seen and is trying to find a way to alleviate those sufferings. And so it is said that that night is the night that Prince Siddhartha renounced being royalty and decided to throw away the life that he knew for 29 years. This is the story of the four gates. This is a story that we like to tell because it shows not only the truths of life, but understanding the road that Prince Siddhartha took to become the awakened one, the Buddha. In our school of Buddhism, Jodo Shinshu, we don't really talk about Shakyamuni Buddha that much, right? If you listen to, you guys might not listen to all my Dharma talks. You guys might be zoning out. But most of the time I talk about Amida Buddha, right? The Buddha of immeasurable light and infinite life, right? Light being wisdom, life being compassion. The Buddha of infinite wisdom and compassion. And it's not that we think Shakyamuni Buddha is a lower Buddha, because that is not true. All Buddhas are great beings. But for Shakyamuni Buddha, right, it is understood that he was the one, or they were the one, that not only told us about the sufferings in life, the old age, sickness, and death, everything that we will encounter throughout our lives, but also to let us know that though we go through these sufferings, we still have the infinite wisdom and compassion of the Buddhas to show us the way, to tell us the way, how to alleviate our own sufferings. And for us, Shakyamuni Buddha has said that if you cannot do practices like he did, right? Shakyamuni Buddha became a monk and lived like a monk with apparently like a grain of rice every day for years. And Shakyamuni Buddha says that if you can't follow, right, the rigorous practices
they took. Just say Namo Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha, and the Buddha of immeasurable light and life, infinite wisdom and compassion, will embrace you as you are. Embrace you as you are, so that you do not have to suffer through what they went through to become a Buddha. You could be yourself and become a Buddha. Though we still live within this life where we will encounter old age, sickness, and death, it is very comforting still to know that there are these teachings that say that you are not alone, that you are supported and embraced by the Buddhas, that you are supported and embraced by the community around you. And I think that's what's always important during Hanamatsuri, right? During our flower festival, to remind ourselves the beginning of Shakyamuni Buddha's life, to remind us of our own human life and how we can still be embraced just as we are. So I apologize once again for talking so long, but it is a special day. So, and the weather is very nice. So thank you all for coming out this morning to celebrate the birth of Shakyamuni Buddha. Sorry, not Shakyamuni Buddha, Prince Siddhartha Gautama, because they are not a Buddha yet at this point in the story. Thank you all for coming out and celebrating with us. And in closing, I would like us to put our hands together in Gasho, or bow your head in contemplation, as we say once again, Namo Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha in gratitude. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Sensei, for that Dharma talk to explain things to us, why today's so special. So, if you will please rise for our Gatha, if you're able. It's on page 120 in the purple service book. It's in Lumbidi's garden, which is what this little thing represents. Thank you. You may be seated. Oh, I'm sorry. No, please stay standing. page 3, we will have the Daily Creator Jodo Shinshu. Not page 3, page 8, isn't it? I get the, yes, page 8, there it is. Daily Creator Jodo Shinshu, read along with me. Realizing enlightenment is assured, and reciting the Nembutsu, I shall live my life cheerfully and positively. Understanding oneness of life and cultivating self-reflection, I shall diligently attend to my life's tasks in gratitude. Recognizing the Dharma path, I shall help spread the teachings of the Buddha. Appreciating the Buddha Dharma, I shall respect and help others, working for the good of society. Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida. Thank you. You may be seated. Today is Hanamatsuri, and one of our traditions here at the White River Temple is that the Buddhist Women Association recognizes new members we may have had since our last Hanamatsuri. And we have 2 new members, Emmy and Annika. If you'd like to come forward, please, I'd like to present you to the congregation. Okay, we have announcements. Any of the organizations have announcements?
The ABA has a field trip planned for April 26th to the Seattle Asian Art Museum in Volunteer Park. We have 20 spots, 12 have signed up, so we've got 8 left. So there's a sign-up sheet on the back bulletin board. It's going to be a docent guided tour, and we're going to leave here around 11. Well, we'll meet here at 11:30. Leave probably around 12 for a 1 o'clock tour. Also, we have the ABA-sponsored steak barbecue on the 13th of May, and then we have the picnic scheduled for June 9th. Thank you.
Next Saturday, we have the fun event at the Veterans Memorial Park in Auburn. So we are celebrating Earth Day next week. And for some people, they might be there at 7:30 to start the event. And then again, there will be others who will go to Veterans Memorial Park at 8:45. So it'll be a surprise for all of us to see who gets up extra early. If you have not already signed the waiver, I have it with me. And after we have this beautiful tea, and you can come and see me and sign the waiver. You don't have to sign it separately. So hopefully everybody is staying for the tea. You're going to be amazed at the way it looks. Every year it's so beautiful. And every year there's something new. So thank you, everybody, for being here and for joining us with the tea.
Glad everyone was able to make it out this morning. And I'm speaking on behalf of the library. And we have a lot of good books, but nobody really uses them. So we're out here trying to promote usage of the library. We have English and Japanese books. And the book I happen to have today with me happens to be Buddha, His Life and His Teaching by Walter Henry Nelson. So it just further would expand upon what Sensei talked about today, talking about from his birth all the way to his death when he was I believe 81. But yeah, it's available for checkout. And if you're interested, swing on by and we'll help you out. Thank you.
It's a nice place you can just relax and find. Big comfy chair. Thank you. As Vivian alluded to, we do have our spring tea today, which will be in the multi-purpose room there. Everyone is welcome. There's a special tea that was brought by one of our Sangha members. It's a sweet. It has a slightly sweet aftertaste. I've tried it, and it does. So if you haven't had some nice Japanese green tea, give that a try today. I'd also like to recognize Monica, Mark, and their neighbor. They have donated the daffodils that you see here. And they gave us so many daffodils, there are actually buckets of them out the front door. And you are welcome. There's probably plastic bags. So help yourself. Please don't be shy. Bring some sunshine into your house. Tomorrow's tax day for those you who may have not finished. So maybe that'll brighten up your house to make that onerous chore a little less onerous. So, Sensei, you want to say something too? Please.
Sorry, we also didn't thank everybody who came out to make the Hanamido. So thank you all who came out to help make Hanamido so beautiful this year. Every year we have so many flowers donated and so many people come out to make the Hanamido unique for the year. No, this is the collaboration of people who love doing this, who love to spread happiness within the community. And so this is a magnificent portion of showing our community coming together to make something so beautiful. So thank you all who came out yesterday.
One more fun fact about the Hanamido, or the pavilion here. It was built by temple members, and it's roughly, I think, 1923, 1925, some of it was built in and has been repaired many times. So it's a long-time treasure, and many of our Sangha members and past Sangha members have come to this same Hanamido, built it, decorated it, and made offerings before it. And you're all welcome to, after service is over, come and make an offering of sweet tea to the Buddha. It doesn't obligate you in any way. So now we will have our closing words, which you'll find in the program. Read along with me, or if you have it from memory, great. My life is not only my life, but also the life of others' sacrifices, kindness, thoughtfulness, and patience. I am grateful. And I guess I'll do it for Sensei, if you don't mind. Itadakimasu, for what we're going to receive at the tea. So, itadakimasu, everyone. So don't be shy. The doors will open. And help yourself. Enjoy the food. Enjoy company. We are grateful that we have this opportunity to be together. Thank you.